So we heard Raila Odinga there say that Uhuru Kenyatta is still part of the Azimio leadership and anything else is propaganda. And he also said that if the government of the day, the Uhuru Kenyatta government, had wanted to execute a coup, they would have. So the events at the Bomas of Kenya cannot be categorized or put in the same, characterized, I think is the right word, characterized as a coup. What do you make of these statements?
Well, I think Raila needs to move away from the past slightly. I think he needs to forget Uhuru Kenyatta for now. Uhuru has retired, as it were. He served 10 years as president. That is the highest you can go. So I don't think Uhuru wants to get back into the murky waters of active politics. I don't see that happening unless, of course, there's an amendment to the constitution removing the capping on the number of years you can serve as president. So I think Raila needs to become his own man. He has always been his own man. The reason as to why he has always been appreciated by Kenyans is because he's been his own man. Can you imagine Raila, the one you're relying on, telling us that there's someone else there that he needs so badly that he's not gone anywhere? He should not be bothered. If I were him, I would have said, it doesn't really matter. I am Raila Odinga and I'm going after this. I am doing my thing. So every time he looks like it is not him, like he's packaging himself as the person that we don't know, then I think to me that is a weakness on his part. And I think he needs to realize that and just move on. Start strategizing. In as far as the issue of what happened in Bomas, what did not happen, the moment the court pronounced itself, especially the Supreme Court on this matter, it did not indict the chairman directly. I think that becomes tricky again when you continue pursuing at a very personal level, because the court did not say that gentleman did anything wrong. If anything, they guided on what needs to happen so that in future there's clarity on who the commission is and who the returning officer for the presidential election is. And I think that is what the Bunge should be doing through Mudavadi and the members of the National Assembly and Senate, so that there is that clarity in as far as operations of IEBC is concerned. That is what he should be pushing for, so that in future we will not have a commission confused for the returning officer for the presidential elections.
All right, and this story, Prof, I'll ask you to weigh in. I just wanted to point out that it informs the front page headline on the Standard. Raila stirs Azimio with Uhuru claims. Opposition leader Raila Odinga insists former President Uhuru Kenyatta has not left coalition, but the latter has remained silent, throwing allies in a spin. Has Kenyatta tactically dumped Odinga is the question the Standard is asking. I will pose that question to you, Prof. Has Kenyatta tactically dumped Odinga?
What is surprising is Raila who is answering for Uhuru Kenyatta. Uhuru Kenyatta can answer for himself, because even if he is out of Kenya, he can speak to us wherever he is and tell us, no, I'm still in Azimio. I've not left. I noticed he also spoke for Njo. So that is tricky, and I agree with my colleague here. Raila needs to go back to being Raila. In fact, Raila lost this election because it wasn't Raila's election. It was election between Uhuru Kenyatta and William Ruto, because Raila decided to submerge himself under someone else. So the Raila people knew was not Raila the candidate. Now he continues with that narrative. It's going to diminish even further. He needs to go back to himself, become Raila the freedom fighter, Raila the father of Kenyan democracy, and people will be there, will appreciate him. But age has a problem. It sometimes makes you lose the way. We say that the older you get, the more wise. That is also true. But sometimes why people even retire is because there is consequences to age. I think Raila is giving people credit who probably don't even deserve it, and who may actually not even be in his corner. You see, Uhuru is an extremely amiable Kenyan. I don't know if you look at his personality, Uhuru doesn't have the personality of a politician. Because that deep inside, you see that man is a very good man. Good men are not in Kenyan politics. So how he even became president, personally, I have no idea. because when you look at Uhuru Kenyatta, he just want to be a nice person. He want to have a nice life. He doesn't want this business of being suckled into an office. So this is no freedom. And Raila want to drag him back. If Uhuru want to stay in Azimio, Raila should allow Uhuru to say so. I don't believe that Uhuru will continue being in Kenyan politics because that's not his personality. Uhuru not even a power seeker. He didn't even recognize when he was having the power. He didn't even seem to recognize it, which is what was good, I think, for the country, because the power seekers can be dangerous because they can turn it tyrannical at one time. But somebody who is just doing a job because the job happened to be there is probably a nice president.
All right.
So
Raphael, do you agree? Do you disagree? Before I engage you, gentlemen, on the sentiments that Raila has been expressing with regard to Chebukati, he said this is a man who is guilty of crimes against humanity and therefore should be tried by the Hague Court, the International Criminal Court. In fact, he went as far as to call him Chebu, and I will not finish because it was not a very pleasant word. But Raphael, on this question of Uhuru, is he not still in Azimio? Will he not remain in active politics, or have his actions this far spoken louder than anything he might have had to say?
Thanks so much, Olive. I think Raila is being a bit nostalgic. You know, he's really wishing for the moments just before elections. And that can be dangerous in the sense that he needs to re-emerge, you know, and provide the leadership that is required, you know. It's obvious that him and Uhuru are still buddies, you know. They call each other friends, my friend and my brother. But in terms of politics, just like my colleagues here have said, it is unlikely that Uhuru will be engaged in active politics, at least not at this time. And so I think it should be an opportunity for Raila now, more or less, to reorganize his side of the coalition, with or without Uhuru, in preparation for the next election, so that they organize themselves in a way that they do not live in the shadow of the former president. That I think would be very, very important. So he should avoid sentiments of, he should avoid being on the defensive. He's the one who is defending his members of the coalition, you know, purportedly. I mean, whether it is Uhuru or Joe, we should see more of reorganization. We should see more of rebuilding of that coalition, more than saying this guy is with us, this guy has left, and all, because that does not help at all at this time.